What is an Exchequer port book? They resulted from an Exchequer order in 1564 requiring all customs officials in the various ports of England and Wales from then on to make their entries in special blank books issued by the Exchequer. Almost 20,000 of these books survive, the last of them written in 1798. There are three types, recording the payment of duties, the inspection of cargoes, or the movement of coastal shipments. Because for much of their existence they were kept in suboptimal conditions, some are a little worse for wear, but most are in pretty good condition. Here's a typical full-page spread. What might we expect to find recorded? Well, we'll get the name of the ship, its home port and its master, the names of the merchants, a description of their goods, in collectors' books the amount and date of duties paid, and the ship's destination or port to which it was sailing next. Now, while any of these entries might contain interesting or useful nuggets of information, it's the aggregation of these records which could reveal, among other things, the changing relative fortunes of the nation's ports, the size of shipments, perhaps indicating when silting became problematic for ports, variations in the size of the nation's shipping fleet, the strength of trading links between towns and regions, the impact of river navigation schemes, and the interests of different masters and merchants. But I'm not the first to have noticed that using the National Archives catalogue, it's not very easy to identify port books that might be of interest, nor is it easy to see what sort of date coverage there is for particular types of book, for particular ports, or over particular time periods. It can also be time-consuming to order documents of interest and to view them at queue, and so before doing anything else, I've reformatted the catalogue and given it a new search interface, which looks like this. You can now limit results by head port or member port and to a specific date range. You can also pick or exclude documents by keywords such as coastal or wine. And this is where the fun starts, because I've been photographing a lot of the port books for Southampton and Poole, and these photographs, already visible on the website, form the nucleus of what could become an image bank for the entire collection of 20,000 port books. The listings of each of the books that has been photographed has a button which, when clicked, reveals buttons linking to all of the photographs of that book. Clicking one of these buttons brings up the appropriate image. Which you can then zoom in on and move around the screen. Now, you'll see that in some instances I've begun to transcribe entries into a database that is linked to the images, so that clicking a button next to a transcribed entry not only fetches the appropriate photograph, but also focuses on the relevant entry. The system allows the adjustment of the display of the photograph to facilitate reading. The transcription system is some way off being made publicly accessible, but I've been developing it while researching the Hampshire and Dorset copperas industry, and I've transcribed all of the relevant entries from the Poole port books. These limited transcripts allow me to show you the sort of data analysis that could be achieved at the click of a few buttons. If I click on a commodity, in this case copperas, I can then refine the list of similar commodities and add extra ones. I can limit it by import or export. I could download the data in an Excel spreadsheet format, or instantly graph it. And this shows rather crudely as yet the export of copperas from Poole during the half-century after 1566. So that's the embryonic portfolio project hosted on a server at Winchester University. Phase 1 will aim to complete the photography of the Poole port books. Phase 2 will involve the development of the transcription and data query tools, and also develop a volunteer network and transcription quality control system. Here I must acknowledge the work of the team at the University of Wolverhampton, who nearly 20 years ago completed the transcription of the Gloucester port books with just such an army of volunteers. Much has been and yet can be learned from their experience. Phase 3 could see the project expanded to cover all of the ports of England and Wales. Please take a look at the website, where you'll find a link to drop me a line with any questions or suggestions. And there's also a link to a Facebook page, which serves as a sort of a blog with project updates. Thank you.